boys, thank you for waiting. I was just sorting out a few things there. You've had the nice kind of like little kind of, I don't know, kind of hotel kind of lobby music really. City have just been at Dortmund 2-1 anyway, and we've already got people waiting to come in. This is the Fan View Live where you can have your say and get chatting about Manchester City if you want to after that 2-1 victory over Borussia Dortmund. All you got to do, if you're a member, it's for members only. You go to the YouTube community section. Community section? Is that's actually the right one, isn't it? The YouTube community tab, and you can find a link there if you want to join in. I've already got Castel waiting. I've already got Sean waiting, and I've already got Scott as well waiting to say hello and chat about Manchester City. I can't wait to say hello to these beautiful bastards waiting there in the green room. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Don't forget as well, my match reaction is up. But what I would say is open that in a new tab, then come back to this. Then obviously come back to it after this. But anyway, I'm going to get into some of the members first. I've got Castel waiting. He's already straight in there. Castel Van der Mesh, one of the coolest guys. Castel, I'm coming to you, man. I hope you can hear me. I feel like in Big Brother. Does anyone remember Big Brother used to go, I'm coming to you. Can you ready for me? That's what I'm going to do. Who is it? We're live. Don't swear. Big Brother. We're coming for you. Yeah, so basically I'm coming over to Castel now. Castel will be in 3, 2, 1.
And
Hello,
happy days.
Castel, man. How you doing? Welcome to the channel, man.
Yeah, thank you, my boy. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. It was good to chat to you as well during the live stream as well. Castel was all
Nice
over the
one.
comments, man. Whereabouts are you, man? In the world?
In Hampshire.
Oh, in
Um,
Hampshire.
yeah, originally from South Africa, but living in Hampshire now. I've been in England for 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
7 years. You left sunny South Africa for Hampshire, man. But someone's got to do it, I guess, haven't they?
Well,
Yeah.
there's a long story behind that, but not for the community.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, Manchester City tonight, 2-1 against Dortmund. It was an interesting game, to say the least. What was your take
Yeah.
on the game, mate?
Um, it's a tough one, Steve. It's, you know, I expected more, but I expected less as well at the same time. It's a bit of a weird thing because sometimes City have this thing of typical City, but I didn't
Yes.
expect that it'd be properly typical City because of the form we've had in the last, I don't know, 30 odd games. Um,
Yeah, of course.
but yeah, it was underwhelming to say the least. But as I said in the comments during the game, job done. We got the win. I would have preferred not to have the away goal for Dortmund, but it is what it is. It could have been worse. But one thing I did want to say, like right at the start, is I would have preferred a loss or a win, because I think a draw would
Yeah.
have been something where, we kind of, or
I
have we
wish I
done
could
it? Have we
share that.
not done it?
Yeah, but I know what you mean actually there, but I could not have
Yeah.
imagined the fallout of a loss, by the way. It would have been too much to take. I would have had to delete the internet for a day or two. I know where you're coming from. I know where you're coming from, though,
Too
weirdly.
right,
I
yeah.
get where you're coming from. It would have been intense. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I guess we did win. I was saying in my match reaction, which probably people have a chance to watch it, but I've said it live. I was saying that maybe it's the case that we just need to find a way to win this tie. I mean, even if it's painful, because I do wonder if it's like, we're up for Real Madrid last season, and I'm not saying we went up for
Yeah.
this, but you can almost sense and feel like they know there's a bit of like they're playing a team that they should be beating, and they can sense it. Does that feel
Yeah,
fair? If you know what I mean, mate, by that?
yeah. We were far more solid against Real. Um, that was like a domineering performance, and I looked at that and I was like, oh my god, wow, we actually there, and we weren't. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, look, Dortmund's not a walkover by any stretch of the imagination. Um, coming into this, there's been so much talk about the manager problems at Dortmund and that type of thing, and people playing out of position, but they're still Dortmund. They're still a
Exactly.
solid
Yeah.
team. Um, and look, as I say, we weren't great. We weren't great, but if we can come together, second leg, then it's ours, no problem.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there is an element of saying in a cup competition, you don't always have to be great either. I mean, cup
No,
competitions are they are. they're, they're a game of chance sometimes, you know. You can be brilliant, and we've
Yeah,
City played well
yeah,
before and got beaten in the cup competitions. And sometimes you can play poorly and do what teams have done to us before. I have to bring up the super chat always. Alex just going City, City, City. And
yeah, of
Alex, I
course.
love that. Sometimes I love the simplicity of that. You know, sometimes you just want
Yeah,
to
yeah.
talk about the club that you love, Alex. And Alex E were right here
Just
alongside you,
shouts at
mate.
Alex.
Just yeah, just good on, man. But like, but yeah, I mean, to be honest, man, it was it definitely was, and I guess I guess there's no room for complacency now in the second leg either way because we have been burned a
No,
little bit today. So
no.
I mean, Pep come out and said that we'll be going to win the next game and we'll be working on how to press better and all this kind of stuff. Because I
Mm.
don't think Pep did anything wrong today either. It didn't feel like it did. It felt very much like it was on the players. But
No, and
are
you
you
were
expecting? Go on, carry on,
you
man.
were
Go on,
sorry, yeah,
Castle.
but you were spot on with the selection as well, and I'm glad you were because when you said that, we can have a similar sort of selection to the Borussia Mönchengladbach game, I thought yeah, absolutely, because I thought that performance was solid, absolutely solid.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so and I think Gabby coming in at halftime was a really good move, um, and Foden was phenomenal, but for some reason missing a finishing foot. Um, but got one in the end. So, you know,
I want to bring up this comment as well from Ajis who says
yeah, go
Lorente
on.
handball and Leon foul and everyone's quiet. City get one corner and everyone loses their minds. It's so childish. Thank you. He's absolutely spot on. Like I know it's never
Yeah,
good to see it's never good to see a bad call, is it? But that is like literally perspective. Like it has gone against us. We've had terrible decisions against us, haven't we?
we
So
have. We've had millions of terrible decisions, but I mean, the, the there were two. The one with Edison, um, no ways in hell was that a foul or a yellow,
yeah, yeah.
um, and the pen was not a pen. Simple as. Like at the end of the day, like you've got to be kind of what's the word? You got to be realistic about these things. Is that it's going to go against you sometimes, it's going to go for you sometimes, but there's also still the rules of football. And
Yes.
if it's not a foul, it's not a foul. If it's not a pen, it's not a pen. Whether it's your team or it's not your team. I was actually shouting at my missus for Dortmund, saying it's not a pen, it's not a pen. But because that's football, mate. There's rules to the game, and you
Yeah,
play
yeah,
for
of
rules
course,
for a
yeah.
reason. Yeah,
Castel, mate, I'd love to have you on longer, but there's literally 8 people
yeah.
waiting, so like I
Totally
feel bad
understand,
for
mate.
keeping everyone waiting. But Castel, mate, it's good to catch you. And some days there's no
Happy
one, some
days.
days there's 8 people. So, but it's lovely to put a face to the name, mate. Very, very good to get your opinions. And as ever,
Absolute pleasure, Steve. Take it easy, man. Keep the good work
mate, I'm
going. Yeah,
sure. Thank you so much, Castel. I'm sure I'll catch you very soon, mate. All right,
will
see you
do.
later, Castel.
Just
See
wait.
you
Take
later,
care. Bye.
pal. I'm coming for Sean next, man. I'm coming for Sean. Sean, I hope you're ready. Sean Lemon, who's obviously he's been on before. I'm bringing you in, man. I'm bringing you in. Sean, how you doing, pal? You all right?
Yeah, dude, I'm having a great day. I got my
Good to
first
hear.
needle in the arm today. So
Oh,
hopefully on the
you've been jabbed. You've
oh,
been
I've been
stabbed up.
jabbed, so no extra
Which
testicle growing or anything. It's just
which one have you got, man? Which one have you got?
Moderna. So if you want to use me as a sample and see what happens to me, I'll let you know if
Yeah, well,
anything happens.
we're getting that. We're getting that in a couple of weeks anyway over in the UK.
Hey.
So let me. But you feeling all right?
Yeah, yeah. You know what? At one point in time, towards
Is
the end of that game, I was feeling a little nervous, but yeah,
yeah, like that's the second least nerve wracking thing today you've done.
oh
The
yeah,
jab was easy. Manchester City's the hard bit, man, isn't it?
yeah.
That's the thing that actually gets you nervous. But we won. And it's weird. Sometimes a victory doesn't feel like a victory, even though it was. Do you know what I mean by that? Sometimes a victory
Yeah.
feels laced with caveats that it feels confusing. What was your take on the game, Sean?
Well, I'll go off of what you just said there. Sometimes a victory doesn't feel like one. I'll tell you what, a 2-1 victory does feel like it because at 1-0,
Yeah, I
I
agree.
was kind of like, I really wanted more out of that game. And then it was 1-1. And at 1-1, I realized I was like, we're 80 some minutes into this game, and the top goal scorer in the competition, Erling Haaland, hasn't scored against us yet. This could
Yes,
start
exactly,
going
yeah.
sideways real quick. So as poor as Rodri kind of looked today, and I would kind of throw Diaz wasn't like his 100% self. We've seen the stone wall of Diaz all season, and he didn't look like himself, but the fact that Erling Haaland did not score today, that kind of shows that I think Pep set us up pretty well. And even though the players didn't play their very best, we still came away with the win, and that's kind of what matters in this competition.
It also showed, by the way, that players are human, because even this Haaland that we built up to this monstrous level, and I've done it as well. He missed a chance. It's almost like, I think that's a reminder that even if we sign someone like Haaland who's a freaky front of goal, every now and then chances will be missed. So we need to remember that. By the way, you started in the private chat. There's just vaccine chat going on now.
I know.
Everyone's like, "What jab did you get?" It's quite adorable. It's just a nice little kind of like we can't escape it. But anyway, we did keep Haaland. Obviously, got the assist as well. But let's talk about Haaland briefly, actually, because I do feel like there was. You could see roughly why City wanted him. Even though obviously he wasn't involved loads, but that bit with Rodri, by the way, not Rodri, sorry, Diaz. Diaz is massive.
I didn't think he was going to get back up.
He looked like a little boy. It was ridiculous. I mean, and a little bit as well with Foden at the end. Did you see Foden?
Oh my god, yeah. Oh yeah.
What do you reckon he was saying, man? What do you reckon he was saying? I like to think he was
god, I put it in my group chat right off the rip once I saw it. I was like, oh boys, he's coming home. He's coming home. No, I mean,
I don't look. There was a look at each other.
They definitely talked.
Closing their mouths. They definitely he definitely goes. I bet Phil was because apparently they know each other by FIFA and social and stuff.
They have to.
I wouldn't be surprised. If he was like, "This could be you here next season, mate." Something like that. I don't know, but he's go on.
I think. You look at the chances that they put in the box today, and nobody was on the end of it. All you got to say is, you could be right there if you want to be. Somebody said the best, because they went on. Everybody went on tour. Raiola and his dad, they went everywhere. And they were showing him around and whatever, and they were asking clubs. It's like, why don't we just sit down with him and show the chances that Kevin and Gundogan and Phil and Sterling are laying up to Aguero or Jesus the past couple of years, and just be like, this could be you on the other end of this.
Just sitting down in a cinema and just show all the chances that we missed. That's it. No money offered. We'll just leave a blank check in front and go. Just watch this 4-hour film about Manchester City wasting chances. That could be you, Erling. That could be 50 goals a season. But how do you feel now going into the second leg? Because I think it's fair to say the game's it's relatively finely balanced. Obviously, City have the advantage, but Dortmund won't feel out of it because they got that away goal. How are you feeling in towards the second leg? Do you think we'll see anything different? Do you think we'll be more of the same? Are you feeling confident, nervous? Where do you stand, Sean?
I'd say confident for sure, but I would say there's a Pep answer here, and it's that we play Leeds in between, and I think that's going to be a huge deciding factor on what we do. I mean. Sterling didn't play today. Laporte obviously didn't play today. I would imagine that those two probably see the field against Leeds. I don't remember exactly what day that they play. But if Sterling has a good game, he might get a look against Dortmund the second time around.
Yeah, definitely.
And if Laporte plays against Leeds, he does a good job and maybe does well during training. Pep might be thinking, maybe that second leg you'll be in, because again, as solid as Diaz has been, I'm not saying drop him, but Pep might think something. I don't know.
No, you're right. There's to be honest, I think there was a few players tonight. I wouldn't say anyone played terribly.
Yeah,
but there was a few players who played a little bit below their expected standards, I would say. And I think there's a few players tonight where they're not guaranteed to start in the second leg now because of maybe some sketchiness tonight. And I think the only people who really could probably walk over the heads held up high was probably literally just De Bruyne and Foden. They all feel like they had good games. Some people were just okay, and some were probably just a little bit poor. So it's just one of those things where so I feel like basically it's very much up in the air for the second leg, for the starting 11 as well. And I don't think it'll be vast changes for what it's worth, but I do think we'll see potentially one or two.
Just a few clogs, and I think the one that I actually kind of maybe skipped over, and I actually said it in the middle of the game. I put it in during halftime. I said, Fernandinho for 45 minutes without a yellow card kind of sounds appealing right now. Just with how things were going.
Saying that, yeah.
Someone just to break the play up, because we look good. I'll say Dortmund actually played very well out of the back against our press. They were getting it to the midfield pretty quickly. Yeah, they were getting it to the midfield pretty quickly, and it was kind of like one of those, all right, well, one of their mids is getting the ball and turning. I would love if Fernandinho was there and they turned into him, and it just stops right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Someone a little bit more snide, maybe. A little bit more snide and a little bit more wily. Sean, mate, I've got so many people waiting. I'm going to have to get on to Scott if that's all right, because I've never had Scott on before. But it's good to catch you once again, man.
Awesome. All right, I'll talk to you.
Catch you in a bit. See you later, dude. Scott, I'm coming to you. Finally. Everyone else, Tony's waiting. Ian, Saffy, James, and Kieran. I'm coming to you very soon. It's just there's so many people to get through and giving everyone a little bit of time. But for now, it's a bit of it's time for some big Denemy energy. Scott,
How's
how
it going,
you doing,
man?
man? You're all right. It's good
Yeah.
to meet you. I guess
Good to
We're
meet you
technically
too, man.
meeting. Yeah, Scott is obviously an absolute legend, and one day me and Scott will be getting pissed in a bar somewhere, hopefully.
For
but,
sure.
Mate, it's once again, it's wonderful to put a face to the name. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Oh, I'm doing well. Doing well. Just finished up with work. Got to catch the win. So
So Nicola had to shout something. What are you shouting? Does he look like he's got big Scott energy? Oh, the biggest, Nicola, the biggest. I like when you collection new shirts, man. Like, thank you so much. What I say personally, Scott, thank you so much, man, for all the support. It genuinely means a lot, and I owe you fucking loads, man.
No way,
I
man.
killed you, mate. But Scott is an absolute legend, anyway. But mate, what did you make of the game tonight, man? What was your instinctive full-time impressions of the game tonight?
I thought it went pretty well. I mean, for what it was, we got the win. We kept going for it. So I think that was the important part. And the biggest thing that I saw was just how athletic like Borussia, and they absolutely were just all over us. I feel like, and they're pretty relentless with their pressure. And I think that kind of gave us some issues. And I think that was credit to them just as far as what they did, because I think that was something I did notice throughout the game is they were keeping up with us as far as shots and like shots on goal. I think even through halftime we only had one more shot and one more shot on goal, I think.
Yeah.
So I think it was a pretty good game. I'm excited for the second half. I think we're gonna pull it through, but I think definitely just after watching it, I would love to get Holland, but I still do believe in Delap a ton. So.
Well, I mean, it's a nice problem to have either way. I love in Bloom and saying even his headphones are blue. That's the Bert life, man. That's what I'm loving. By the way, genuinely, were those shirts already up or were they up for this video?
I may have put them up for this video. I'm not gonna lie.
I knew it. But anyway, it's all good, man. It's even the scarf over the door. It's all there. But to be honest, like, the Haaland stuff, obviously, like, it's weird because you could see what you could bring to the table even if he wasn't fully involved. And you're right about Dortmund. I mean, I'm not surprised because Dortmund are a pacey, physical team, but I guess the extent of the physicality did surprise me a little bit. Bellingham, I thought, was just a powerhouse in midfield, and De Gea has loads of energy as well. And they
should have had a goal.
You could tell. They looked a little bit like free of their Bundesliga shackles, I guess, because they've been in poor form in the Bundesliga, and you could tell they were confident there. I don't feel they'll feel like they're out of it. Do you? I feel like they'll feel pretty confident for the second leg.
No, watching that game, I definitely would never have guessed they were struggling in the Bundesliga this season. So yeah, I think definitely their performance should give them confidence, I'd hope. But yeah, I think we should be able to pull it out. Yeah, I mean that Bellingham kid was good too. He is really quick. I think he is definitely.
Man, like, it's ridiculous. Like he is. England have got some incredibly good young players coming through at the moment, and like Bellingham is one. He turns 18 in June, so he's just a baby in football terms. It's quite ridiculous, isn't it? I'd like him one day, but it's a City, by the way. I wouldn't mind him. Like, it'd be a shame he can't learn from Fernandinho because I feel like he'd be a master at that. But either way, we've got enough good young players coming through. How do you feel about the second leg? Like, obviously we have to be relatively confident, but do you expect to see many changes yourself, or is there any changes you would like to see? I guess is the big question. You don't have to, but I'm curious.
I might want to see Sterling in there, to be honest, just because I love his pace and like how he can kind of cut in. I personally love seeing Foden play on the right a lot. Like if I can see Foden on the right and Sterling on the left, that's something I love seeing, and I love just watching both those players cut inside and kind of work from there. So that might be one switch I'd see. I wouldn't be surprised. I would love to see Fernandinho like start in the center defense, mid. Like, I think that would be a good switch up. Yep. And instead of Rodri, and I don't think Rodri did super terrible by any means. I think that just as far as switching things up, that's one change I might expect him to make. And I don't expect him probably to change up the back two, to be honest.
No, I think you're probably right. I mean, we'll have to see, I guess, what happens against Leeds. But as we were saying just a few minutes ago, it could be that it could be that the Leeds game could force a few changes. I guess it could be that Guardiola thinks maybe we need to switch up a little bit because we weren't perfect. But I think it's an interesting one for Guardiola tonight because obviously like. We've won, but we played better, and he has to kind of think: do I trust the team now, or do I make changes, or whatever? How do I get rid of that? How do you get rid of the nerves? Because they're visibly there. I mean, can you force the nerves? Because human psychology is the biggest factor in anything, isn't it? And like, how do you stop people being themselves fundamentally? Like, can you do anything, Scott? Can you?
Unfortunately, I think until we win it all, that's just going to be how it is until we do it. Especially, I'm sure it is for every club, even the clubs that have won it. But I feel like we always have those nerves where we just feel like we can't get past that last hump for some reason. And I think he's done a good job. And like I said, if you watch the interviews of the players recently, they all seem to just have this carry about them where they seem very confident. Even Kev the other day when he was upset after he came off, like you could just tell he had like collected himself and he just seemed so focused on like the task at hand.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Like they all do seem particularly focused, and I guess it's a weird competition. Sometimes it can be easy, sometimes it can be difficult. Scott, mate, I'm going to get on to Tony because he's been waiting for ages as well. But it's a pleasure. And normally I'd have a little bit longer with everyone else, but it's literally such a big queue in them. It's like literally. I feel like it's like people waiting for their jabs now.
No worries,
like,
man.
Everyone's waiting one by one. But Scott, I'll catch you very soon, man. Thank you so much for your thoughts, Tony. And Davina McCall, and I'm coming for you in a second. That will make sense to half the viewers watching this, but maybe a few English people will get it. But for now, catch you in a bit, mate. See you later, dude.
See ya.
Tony, I'm coming to you, man. Tony Lee, Corey. Tony, how you doing, mate? Another familiar name, and now another familiar face. Are you alright, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not too bad, man. Whereabouts are you in the world?
Currently, I'm in Scotland.
Yeah, not quite as glamorous as Detroit with Scott or anything like that.
No,
but
unfortunately, we do have a beach. We do have a beach here.
No, you fucking don't. Don't lie about it. I've been to Scotland. Where's your beach, man? In Scotland? Well, I've been to a few places in Scotland.
It's South Ayrshire.
That's just the coast. It's not. No. But either way, man, it's good to meet you, man. Good to see you as well. How are you feeling about the game tonight? Like, what was your full-time verdict?
We can't really complain. We've taken the win. Obviously, there is the away goal situation, and I think Dortmund at home, they're gonna turn up. They have more reason now. So, we take the win now, but we need to get past Leeds. Everyone needs to get through that. We don't need injuries. We don't need fitness issues. We need the full team there, and go again.
It's not going to be easy. I mean, I guess that goal for them, I don't think they'll be too. Obviously, they won't be happy about the second goal conceded, but I feel like they'll be sat in the dressing room going, "At least we got the away goal, Dortmund, won't they?" That's what they'll be saying. So there's no denying that. Obviously, we're in a technically better position because I do fancy a chance to score, but it hasn't been a perfect night. One person though who pushed the boundaries of perfection, Kevin De Bruyne, as always. He was fantastic, wasn't he? Just talk to me about Kev for a second, Tony, because I thought he was absolutely immense. And after that, then go on to Foden after that as well, because I thought those two were special. Yeah.
Kevin is magical. I think in years to come, right now we look back, when we signed Sergio, when we signed David, and did we really think of the impact they were going to have on the team? We're a decade later, and they're legends. Like, that's how it is, and I think Kevin could eclipse that. I think
that's a big call. You're probably possibly right. What would you have to do to eclipse it? What would you have to do to eclipse that man?
I think if he takes us to a Champions League, that's it.
That's it.
I genuinely believe, David was part of the first FA Cup in 40 odd years. Sergio got us the league title with his own foot. But I think if Kevin can lead us to a Champions League, I'm gonna say it, he eclipses anyone.
That's a massive, massive call, man. Like, but to be honest as well, one thing I will say is that if anyone who looks determined to do that, it is Kevin De Bruyne. Like, he was just so good tonight. Like, it wasn't just the fact that he's blessed with quality. We know that, but it felt like everything he did was just genuinely, like, just stunningly good. But it was also his desire when he was bouncing off challenges and driving forward, and he was. I love it when he's directing his own one. You know, when he's barging past people.
It was. The moment when, I mean, he didn't score from it, but towards the end, I can't remember if it was still 1-0, whether it had gone to 1-1, when he had that low shot that just went wide.
Yeah, when he bounced past two people.
Yeah, but he had two challenges. He could easily have taken the foul and got a free kick, and we know what he's capable at a free kick. But like you say, it was the desire to stay up and line himself up was it's world class. And that's why he's in the team. That's why Pep Guardiola picks him week in, week out, and he has that freedom to just go out there and do what's necessary. And we see it again tonight. He's a smart footballer. He's smart. He's always 2-3 steps ahead. He knows what he wants to do before he's got the ball to do it. And I think that's what separates him from anyone else in world football right now.
Tony, you're absolutely spot on, man. Genuinely spot on. You've summed up perfectly because he does seem to be. He seems like he has a couple of seconds more than everyone else, doesn't he? Because the passes he makes, he feels like he's got access to different camera angles or something like that going on in his head. I don't know how he does it, but I know more negative because obviously we talked a lot of positives. What was the biggest disappointment for you tonight? Was there anyone in particular stood out? Was there any major concerns that you've noticed? What were your frustrations with the game?
I think the biggest one for me personally, and it's not a personal dig at him, but it was Rodri tonight. He didn't seem. I don't say he didn't seem up for it, but he wasn't quite in the flow like everyone else. But that being said, it could just be one of those nights for him. You could put Ferner in for the Leeds game. Pep could stick with Rodri next week, and he could have a blinder. We know what he's capable of, and he's a young footballer. He's got big boots to fill long term. And this is the biggest stage for him.
The biggest.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
It's a very big stage. So I'll put it down to just one of those nights.
Do you know what? You mentioned something there. He's only 24 years old, which is like, I know he's not young, but he's not old either for a footballer. No. He's got to the bit where he's just past being a young player and he's starting to become relatively senior. But I think it's fair to say, not saying he'll reach this level, but Busquets, he was late 20s when he reached his peak, I would say, in general. Not his peak, but I would say he's got a bit of time to become the perfect version, I guess, of himself. He's nowhere near his peak yet, so I think that's probably fair to say. So the odd mistake or two is definitely allowed. But Tony, mate, once again, thank you for catching him, man. I'm gonna get to Ian. I'm not sure if Ian's there or not. There's no camera there, but Ian, if you're listening, I am coming for you, mate. But Tony, thank you so much for popping on, man. I really, really appreciate the support, Tony. You're an absolute legend, and I'll catch you soon, man. Okay, come back on next time, all right? Catch you soon, Tony. In a bit, mate.
Bye.
Go enjoy your beach, which definitely doesn't exist. See you later, man. See you later.
See you later.
I have no idea if Ian's here or not, or if he can hear me, or if he's watching, but I'm going to try and bring Ian in, and if he's not here... hello, Ian.
Hey, Stephen.
How you doing, man? You all right?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just a little under the weather.
Oh, you're under the weather? What's wrong, man? You got a bit of a cold or something, or...?
I got the Pfizer shot on Saturday, the first dose.
Oh, shy. Is it knocked you for 6?
Oh, yeah. I a really bad fever Sunday night, but it's come down a lot. I just have a head cold now.
Oh, okay. That's good, man. Fingers crossed by tomorrow you'll be feeling a little bit better. Whereabouts are you in the world, man?
Indiana.
Nice. So what did you make of that? Did it make you feel a little bit better, that City performance? How are you feeling about it, mate?
I was happy with 2-1. I mean, getting the win was important. Kind of upset to give up an away goal. But, I mean, Foden to score the winner was beautiful. I love to see Foden score anyway, and it was just nice to get the 2-1 and kind of have an advantage going to Dortmund.
Yeah, I was really happy for Foden, actually. It's always nice to see Foden score, as you said, but I felt like his performance really deserved it, didn't he? Because, I mean, he missed a couple of chances, but it felt like that was... There's so many performances for Foden that feel like one of his best, but It felt like one of the most complete winger performances of Foden tonight, if that makes sense. Just watching him beat people, there was, dare I say, there was like shades of Sane almost, wasn't there? You know, like the way he was jinking past people in those little gaps. I mean, where does this rank in Foden's performances for you? Was there any particularly you could prove on or anything like that?
I think it's kind of underneath the Liverpool performance, but it's high up there. I wouldn't put it above Liverpool yet, but I think it was good.
He's a very, very, very good player. I'm very lucky to have him. I mean, what was your take on the controversial moments in the game? Because I mean, everyone has their opinion on him. Obviously, there was the penalty thing. There was also the Edison incident. Where did you stand on both of those, mate?
I didn't think the pen was a pen at all. I was glad they went to VAR and overturned it. I know people would say if it was United or Liverpool, they would get it, but I don't want it. I mean, that's theirs.
We don't need that, do we? We don't need that,
makes
mate.
us just as bad as them anyway, and we don't need it. The Ederson goal, I didn't really see how it was a foul from Bellingham's point of view. I thought it was just weird. I didn't completely understand at all how it happened, but I mean, if I didn't like it, I guess.
No. I think in the end, we got lucky. We got lucky with the Bellingham thing, didn't we? Because I feel that was probably a legit goal, in my personal opinion. But I guess like people have pointed out, we've had a lot of shit go aces in the Champions League before, you know. So sometimes you do have to. Well, sometimes the luck should swing around in your favour, and you know, not saying it should do, but it's going to happen, isn't it? And again, this time we have to make the most of it. How do you feel about our game plan going into the second leg? Because obviously it's a relatively finely balanced tie. This, I mean, is there any changes you want to see in the second leg, or are you confident with a similar team? What do you reckon Pep will do? What do you want to see happen as well, mate?
I'm kind of scared Pep changes it a lot, just from previous, especially the Lyon game when he went 5 at the back.
What gave you that impression? Yeah.
Oh, the Lyon game last year where he went 5 at the back. But I don't think he'll do that. I think he's learned from that. I think it'll be relatively same. Maybe you see Laporte come in, or we see Zinchenko play, or maybe we see. I don't know. I don't think Aguero would play just because I don't know if we could get him into form in time. You may see Sterling or Jesus come on. I kind of would like to see Jesus on the wing, maybe instead of Mahrez, because I thought Mahrez was fine. I thought Mahrez was fine, but I think that Jesus with the press, and then I think that would be really good.
Yeah, no, Jesus, I would not be surprised if we see him. I actually thought Jesus made a bit of a difference when he came on as well. I know Dortmund were tired, but we did start to create a lot of chances in the second half, didn't we, towards the end? And it felt like a matter of time before the second goal went in. Obviously, we didn't expect them to score in between that. But it did feel like the second goal was always coming. It's a frustrating turn of events that they conceded, that we conceded at the same time, but that's football. Was there anything that concerned you in terms ahead of the second leg? You know, do you think there was anything particularly like worrying or anything like that, or is it just a case of like just the nerves, or because Rodri, for example, Rodri Ederson faffing around a little bit? Do you think it's just very much one of those things on the night where they'll kind of get over it, or is a deeper concerns there for you?
Yeah, I mean, the obvious is the concern about the nerves. I think it's kind of just one of those nights. I mean, we could have scored 3-4 and we didn't. I think it was just a bad day. I think we should really bounce back again in Germany, and I think that will really be fine. I don't have too many concerns. I think you can't completely dismiss the nerves, but it's not something I'm going to always sleep over.
Well, what do you reckon for the second leg then, for the final score then?
I'm going to go 2-0. I'll say... Sorry, go ahead.
No, mate, I was going to say, I like it. That's all I was going to say, man. 2-0's good. Who you go for scoring?
I'll say KDB scores another, and I reckon Sterling gets one if he plays. But I'm a big Sterling fan.
I think it's a good shout. I think Sterling's a good shout, by the way, for the second leg. I got a feeling, I think we'll see more changes than we realise. Not sure if that's a good idea or not, but I've got a feeling we will, man. Ian, mate, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. Go and rest up and hope you get better soon. And fingers crossed you should be all right tomorrow morning. Most people say they have about 48 hours or so, don't they, feeling a bit shit, and then the day after. Fingers crossed you'll be all right, man. Catch you soon, mate.
See you.
See you later. Saffy, I am coming for you, man. Hope you're ready, and hopefully your internet's better than last time, I remember. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you? Is it better? No, this time.
What was that again? Sorry?
Is the Wi-Fi's better this time?
I was winding you up, sorry. It's totally fine. That wasn't even funny. No, it's absolutely totally fine, mate. Whereabouts are you in the world again? Are you in
Canada, Toronto. Toronto.
Yeah, nice, man. How did you feel? What was your reaction to the game? Did anyone stand out particularly for you as well?
Foden, De Bruyne, 2 best players we had today. I mean, when Jesus came on, he brought energy. I felt we needed someone because I think we were tired a bit more at the end, and he brought like this press, and his presence, he could just like when we needed more of a build up, he was just there. We give the ball to him, he nicks it to De Bruyne, and then we had a much better build up. We found spaces more, and Foden had a lot of chances later on in the game. And our build-up play when Jesus came on was much, much better. But I think we did get lucky today, and we were it was really tense game. Everyone was nervous. Rodri, Cancelo, Diaz, first time for Diaz, and I mean it happens though, because we haven't gotten past this quarterfinals in like 4 years now, so it happens, and it's just the nerves for the players.
Do you think it's just simply a case of this just being a mental block? Like, because it's hard to say it's a tactical thing because we didn't really seem to change anything other than the thing that's been working well. Do you really? How do you feel? Do you feel like if we do this, and even if we just scrape past Dortmund, do you think that's enough then to remove that fear? Then do you think that could be as simple as that for City?
I think to remove the fear, we need to win it. Like if you look at a team like Real Madrid, they've won it countless times, and maybe right now their whole team hasn't won it, but the base of their team, Luka Modric, Casemiro, Toni Kroos, they've won it. And that you can see in the big games, it doesn't matter if they're old. In big games in the Champions League, everyone plays to their best. The experienced players, if they're not nervous, they're going to play to their best, and you saw that today with them. So I think it's just that experience, and that's why I also think Fernandinho is going to play in the next leg, because I think he just brings that. That's a big shout. Yeah, he just plays that little like if he can stop the counterattack, he'll make that foul. He'll always take one for the team, Fernandinho. I just think that he's going to bring a calmness in the second leg.
Do you think there's he'll bring the calmness in as well and the experience, but do you think there's also a need for his destructiveness in terms of because they were a physical side, weren't they, Dortmund today? They were aggressive, and they were pacey. And I wonder if we need to fight fire with fire, because for example, Ndidi for Leicester, physical, aggressive, impressive defensive midfielder, he couldn't really lay a finger on Fernandinho's performance. And I wonder if someone like Bellingham might be like, well, I do a similar thing to Fernandinho, but I just can't do it as well as Fernandinho. And I wonder if that will actually. Go on. Yeah,
because he disrupts the play. He like when they get the transition and they're away, they can make a few passes in their build-up. Fernandinho is there. He stops it. He either can get there an interception. He makes a foul. That's what I said before. He'll take that yellow card. He'll make that disruption. He'll just when he sees the other team can go and break, he takes a player down from their shirt, and he's just gonna disrupt them when they're when they're in transitions.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, I think you're probably right. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him at all, which means he wouldn't play against Leeds, because Guardiola doesn't like to play twice.
I think Rodgers going to against Leeds again, and then
No, I think you're right as well. I think that'll be the way it'll be. And then, to be honest, you're probably right about Fernandinho. Is there any other changes you think we'll see ahead of that game? Is it necessary? Is it just a couple maybe, or do you want to see?
I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary. But I mean, I guess we have to see how the team is, after the game. But we have a 3-day rest, which in this time is actually more than usual. Usually it's only 2 days. So I mean, 3 days can be considered more than usual. So we'll see what happens. But I think Jesus will play. Maybe Jesus for sure, because I think Pep wants that. Because we need those goals.
Who drops out, man? Who drops out if Jesus plays?
Mahrez.
Difficult, isn't it?
Mahrez.
I think you're right about Mahrez. I think Foden's played for the team, hasn't he? He trusts Bernardo too much, doesn't he, as well, I think?
Mm-hmm. He loves him. I think Bernardo goes on to the right and Jesus goes up top then.
That's interesting. So Bernardo on the right, Foden on the left, Jesus. That's interesting. De Bruyne back in the middle alongside Gundogan. But it'll be fluid, won't it? Everyone will be moving around and stuff like that. So it could be. Does that mean Sterling sits on the bench this one as well then for you?
I mean, he needs, if he can prove like that what he's in, if he can go in a game against Leeds and bag a brace or something, then he's in a shell. But right now, he's not at the level of everyone else, so it's so hard to put him in.
It's so hard, though, isn't it?
I know, but I love Sterling so much. I love Sterling.
Same, man. And he's been good in the Champions League this season for us as well. Obviously, we know he's got such a mixed history, because I feel like often Sterling's been one of our best Champions League players. Like I always think of you know, I think of the games against like Napoli and Atalanta and all that kind of
And
stuff. And,
even when we lost against Tottenham at home in the quarterfinals,
he was brilliant.
Oof,
Yeah, he was immense.
amazing.
He can be brilliant, but then of course everyone remembers Leon, and like which
Mhm.
is just, or everyone remembers that, which is which understandably, because when you have something like that, you're gonna live and die by your own rep, I guess. And if you miss big chances, people remember that, unfortunately. But he is a big Champions League player for us usually, but. Either way, I think we have got an embarrassment of riches, thankfully, and I'm sure I think we'll scrape through. I think it'll be a difficult game, but I do personally think we'll get through, man. But Saffy, I hope to chat to you after that game, man, as well. For now, though,
Yeah.
I've got so many more people waiting, mate, so I'm gonna have to get on to James if that's okay. But this time it was
thank
good,
you.
man. I could hear you, we could see you. We had a good chat, man.
Next time I'll be like this again. Thank you. Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
looking forward to chatting both of you again, mate. See you later, dude. In a bit.
See you.
James. Hello, my friend. How are you doing today?
Hello.
Are you good, man? You good?
I think so.
You think so? You're not sure?
I mean, I've got a bit of a bad throat at the moment, but
How have you?
apart from that, I'm okay.
Oh, is that Manchester City induced by any chance of all the stress of watching this game?
I think, well, it's been since the international break.
Oh, okay. You've been a bit run down. What did you think of the game, man? What did you think of the game?
Well, I mean,
It sounds a
they
bit
came
scratchy, by the way.
I mean, very good game today. Just very good game of football. That's what it was.
Yeah. The sound's a bit bad, by the way, mate. It's really, really fuzzy. I can barely hear you.
Typing.
Is it the earphones, maybe? I'm not sure if it's that or whatever, but either way, it sounds like just computer
That
noises.
better?
That's much better. There we go. That's miles better. Miles better,
then.
man. There we go. Yeah, it was just like hiss and computer fan noise and all that kind of stuff. So who stood out for you today, man?
My phone. Well, Foden had a really good game, despite like all of his missed chances. But because of Kevin De Bruyne didn't play bad.
Yeah. He played pretty well, I would say, Kevin De Bruyne. I thought he was quality. What did you make of like the defense today? Because the defense wasn't perfect, I would say. There was a few mistakes there. Are you concerned by that?
I know. The one thing that I do want to say about the defense today is if Erling Haaland can do that to Ruben Diaz, what can he do to the rest of the Premier League defense?
That's a very good point, man. Genuinely, because Diaz looked small. I tweeted that out, and it was weird seeing a man that would, if you stood next to us, would make us look like little, tiny little humans. And like the physicality of Diaz was just ridiculous, genuinely ridiculous. Sorry, of Haaland. Sorry, was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, what do you think? Do you reckon? Are you confident about City signing him? Like, do you think Foden was saying something to him at the end? Do you reckon there's anything in that?
I don't know, but I'll be honest. If we get Haaland, then great. If we don't, then false 9 FC.
False 9 FC will do it, man. Do you think we're going to carry on with the false 9 in the second leg, or do you think Gabriel Jesus will be starting?
I'm not sure. I think it depends on what happens at the weekend against Leeds. Because if Jesus scores a hat-trick against Leeds, then there's no way. I'm not sure because Leeds. I mean, we saw they frustrated us earlier in the season, but of course, I mean, I think that was Diaz's debut, that game against Leeds.
It's going to be. I mean, this is going to be a massively different game, isn't it?
That was the week after Leicester, where we lost 5-2.
Yeah. God, that feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? Those two games. They don't even feel like the same season anymore because it was such a long.
Because the Leicester game was the last game before we got Diaz.
And then things have changed since. Like, I guess it was showed as well. We need to we need to remember that Diaz is only really, really young, as a footballer. Because like a couple of times today, where I think he looked a little bit like there was expectation on him tonight. I don't think he was terrible, but he definitely wasn't perfect. And I guess we forget that he is only human, and he can make mistakes. But he's still absolutely brilliant. How do you think Pep will be feeling tonight after that game? Go on.
I mean, I think Pep will be happy with the win. and we've got 2 goals to take now. We've got 2 goals to take to Germany next week. Of course, he's going to be happy with that. He'll be disappointed with the way that we conceded, but apart from that, I think he'll be fairly happy.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He'll still be cautious because, I mean, this is Manchester City in the Champions League. We've all been here before.
Against
Monaco.
We have, man.
Could win the first leg.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I guess the one way of positive looking at it is that we won tonight while not playing at our best. And for someone like Pep Guardiola, who's a perfectionist, all he'll see is room for improvement. He'll be like, well, we won tonight and we can play much better. So bearing that in mind, surely it's a positive, because we've almost got away with it tonight, haven't we? Obviously, you want a better result, but I would say overall, given the fact we haven't played well, it's become a pretty good night, hasn't it? Or is that an oversimplification?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I think the only regret from tonight we've not scored more.
Yeah, definitely. And Foden in particular will probably feel like he could have scored a couple more because he was everywhere tonight. I thought Foden.
Well, to be fair, for some of the chances Foden had, I think one of them was cleared off the line, and some of them were just a good bit of defending from Dortmund.
Yeah, they were I'm to be honest, Foden when he kicks you straight at the keeper, the whole goal to aim, man. He somehow managed to hit the keeper. But I guess one positive that we haven't really talked about with anyone.
That's a Sterling. That's a Sterling moment.
Yeah, that was a Sterling moment. Don't poison him with that because I don't want it to become a thing. But one thing I will say is the character of Manchester City to come back despite them equalising and then to still find a winner. That feels a bit different. Is that a fair thing to say? Because that feels different to last year, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, well, I also think this year it's more like the team knows that we have got a Sergio Aguero and a Gabriel Jesus waiting on the bench. So maybe we didn't necessarily always have last year.
Yeah, of course.
But if I'm not scoring goals, if I'm not scoring goals, I'm not going to play because I've got Aguero on the bench. He's ready to come on and score a goal.
Exactly. It's the strength and depth we've got now is genuinely it's ridiculous. Are you feeling confident for the second leg now, James? Man, are you looking forward to the second leg? Do you think we should be all right?
I mean, as a game of football, yes, I'm looking forward to it. But from a City perspective, I'm still a bit comprehensive.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly how I feel, man, to be honest. James, mate, Kieran's been waiting for about an hour now, as you have, so I'm going to get Kieran in. Go rest your voice up, mate, as well. It's good chatting to you again.
Yeah.
Hopefully your throat will be better soon, man. Catch you in a bit, mate. See you later.
I hope so. Cheers, bye.
See you later, pal. Bye-bye. Kieran. Hi.
Hello.
Pay attention, boy. How you doing, man? You all right?
I'm not bad. What a game of football that was.
Was it a good game of football, or was it a football game littered with loads of errors? Actually, no, there was quality in it, wasn't there? There was a lot of quality. It was really actually from the sublime to the ridiculous. It was pretty much that phrase summed up perfectly, wasn't it, really? Because it did feel like you saw moments of brilliance from De Bruyne, then you saw Edison being a dick. And it was it was a weird game of football. Entertaining for the neutral, maybe, though they won't pretend that it was, obviously. But overall, how are you feeling about that emotionally after that game?
I'm emotionally ruined, Stephen. I've got nothing left. I think we saw Sam Allardyce football while also seeing Pep Guardiola football at the same time in that game. It was the two opposite ends of the footballing spectrum. And yeah, I genuinely just don't really know what to think. I'm happy, obviously, with the fact that it was a 2-1. Leaves us in a good position going forward. Any draw is good for us. Drawing above is good.
Yeah, no, I agree. We are in a good position. I mean, it's one of those things where maybe Pep Allardyce indeed there. Maybe the performance doesn't really matter that much. And as I was saying to James as well, maybe there's an element of the fact that we won while not playing well is actually a room for it's a positive potentially because maybe it's just a room for improvement kind of scenario. And what did you put the performance down? Is it as simple once again? It's just a confidence thing, or is it deeper than that for you? I mean, did you sense anything wrong like with our shape or anything like that, or was it fine? Or was it just individuals? What was the cause of City's problems tonight?
I think it was very much a confidence thing. I think Rodri was iffy, especially in parts. It almost led to the first goal for Dortmund. It was very much a strange performance from him. I don't think Cancelo was particularly great either. It just seemed a bit shaky at the back to start with, but it's that typical City thing. The first 15, 20 minutes of the game are weird and shaky and trying to find our place in the game. And then 18 minutes, we scored the goal and we turned it on, and we were great for the rest of the first half, I thought. And then again, we go back out for the second half and it becomes a bit shaky and a bit difficult. I just think Dortmund turned it on after that half. I don't know what he said in that locker room, but it was good enough.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Dortmund were good. They were good. I mean, I think Dortmund showed why people were a little bit apprehensive about this game because we can turn around and say, oh, they're poor in the Bundesliga, but there's just quality there. And it almost felt to me for them that it was a bit of a relief to play a game like this where there's no expectation on them because they could just concentrate on trying to upset Manchester City's rhythm. And I think they did a good job with that, man. Was there anyone in particular stood out for you from Dortmund, I guess? Because obviously there's some big names there, but was there anyone particular for you?
I mean, I think there's only the one name that particularly sticks out from Dortmund, and it's got to be Jude Bellingham. He was, I mean, it's unbelievable to think that just a season or so ago he was playing at Birmingham City. And now he's playing on the Champions League stage against Manchester City and really showing his worth. He was stunning tonight. He was all over the pitch. He deserved that first goal. Absolutely. And I think it was upsetting not to see him get anything out of that game. Obviously, I'm happy from a Manchester City perspective, but from a development of English football perspective, he is real promising.
Is he in the Euro squad for you? To me, it's a no-brainer. I think he's got all the potential in the world. You clearly have him in the squad, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see why people wouldn't because they don't watch the Bundesliga and they don't watch German football, so they probably wouldn't see the fact that Jude Bellingham is on fire right now and he's really good in that central midfield role and great from box to box. But it's a similar thing to Jadon Sancho. I think that people saw them go off to foreign shores and then just forgot about them slightly.
Yeah.
He's absolutely in that Euro squad.
He's brilliant. And I'm glad Sancho's not involved, by the way, because I feel like he would have had a game tonight or two. You would have enjoyed it tonight. But what were the positives for you? Like, if you could list a few positives, what stood out for you, man?
Gabriel Jesus on the pitch stood out. I think Kevin De Bruyne obviously stood out and Phil Foden stood out. As just individuals that stood out for me today, that it was those three. Gabriel Jesus coming onto the pitch was a massive boost in terms of defensive output, especially up front. And he is so pressing on that front foot. It's incredible. His off-the-ball play is arguably so much more important than his on-the-ball play right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Kevin De Bruyne, like you said earlier, he seems to have more time than anybody else on the ball. I don't get it. What looks like 3 seconds to us is half a century for him. He knows exactly what's going on. I think in the interview afterwards, he was asked, "How do you pick your passes?" And the answer he gave was essentially, "I use my eyes." And it just is so obvious, and yet it's such a difficult skill. And Phil Foden broke Wayne Rooney's record for youngest 90th minute winner in the Champions League.
That's the one thing I miss out. I miss out because as soon as I'm doing the watch long, so I miss out a lot of the commentary anyway. And then I go straight to my match reaction afterwards. So I don't really see all the stats that emerge out after. So I miss out stuff like that because I'm just not on social because I'm too busy to do videos and shit like that, then setting this up. So
I just look much more intelligent than you, and that's fine with me.
It's great, man. It's I can just say I put it all in the private chat, and no one will ever know. And I'm giving you because I'm being nice to the guests. And that's definitely what happened. People are gonna believe me over you, Kieran, because it's my channel, so I've just won there. Everything Kieran's just said, I fed him, by the way. So genuinely, that's fascinating, man. That's fascinating. What was that? So he was the youngest youngest English player to
youngest English player with a 90th minute winner in the Champions League.
That's such a niche stat.
It's such a niche thing, but he
How many
beat
are there?
Wayne Rooney's
Two?
record. Yeah, he beat Wayne Rooney's record at Milan in 2007. So there you go.
Was Rooney the only other one by any chance? I don't even know.
I have no idea. I didn't look that deep into the stats when I was doing my very deep Googling on Twitter. So
Well, try harder, Kieran. No, I know, to be honest, that's still fascinating. But to be honest, I thought that was. I'm not sure everyone agrees with me, but because I genuinely thought I thought Foden was like brilliant. Like, I know he missed some chances, but I felt genuinely. I guess he wasn't his most headline-grabbing performance, but there was something about the way he played tonight and when he was drifting past people. The amount of times he beat his man, like I felt like that was almost like a record for him, because he was just constantly beating his man, constantly drifting past people. I know, and then even though he didn't maybe get all the goals that his performance probably deserved, I feel like people aren't quite as excited about him as I was tonight, because I thought Foden was absolutely. Am I over egging him a little bit? Because I thought he was brilliant personally.
Oh God, no! I've jumped straight to his defence tonight. I've seen a few tweets coming out saying that Jude Bellingham was the best player on that pitch, and I said that Phil Foden's just beaten him. And he was stunning tonight. And I think the way their right back was just no match at all. He was caught out of possession, especially for that first goal. He was caught out of position so easily by Foden, it was punished, and deservedly so.
It feels like to me he's starting to learn his left wing role really well, because he knows when to go out wide and he knows when to drift inside. He's a much better left winger than he was 7 months ago, in my opinion. Now, like much better. It's just like the amount of times he, as H just said here, that Foden turned Murray inside out. He did. The amount of times that like Murray will be in hospital now, like twisted blood, man. It was like genuinely. It was, but I know some people disagree, but I guess when I was saying Sane is the way that Sane used to drive inside past people. He was doing a lot of that tonight, and he's not as fast as Sane, but he definitely has a very exciting burst of acceleration, doesn't he, to get away from people. And like he's just so hard to get the ball off when he's in that kind of form. And bear in mind he's only a kid still as well in the grand scheme of things. It's just ridiculous, man. Finally, man, before we get to Tom Winbane, he's been waiting for ages as well. I love how Sean's just hanging around in the green room, by the way, because he wants to chat as well again. He's like,
I'll jump back in with him, man.
yeah. We'll probably get him at the end. But finally, man, before I kick you off for not nicking my stats, how are you feeling about the second leg, man?
As I said before, it's a draw or better is a win for us now. Even if we lose but can score 2 goals, that's win. That's a win as long as it's sort of drawn on aggregate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but, I can't see us not scoring against Dortmund in the second leg. Can you? We never don't score really. So obviously with United is the exception there, but I think we should be all right, man, shouldn't we? Kieran, what's your channel again, by the way? If you
I'm still going to plug it. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's the only reason I pay. City Daily. City Daily.
What is it? So I need to find. I'm going to put a link in the YouTube comments now. 1 second, I'll find it. Let me find it, and I'll
send it to you here.
No, I've got it, man. I think. Have I? Oh, you sent it to me actually. Yeah, send it. Put it in the private chat, man. And
just did.
You just did, and I'll put it in the actual comments. Everyone watching this right now, and there's 500 of you watching, which is fucking awesome. But like the video, by the way, if you're watching, and the comment I've just posted in the chat, click that, subscribe to this face here alongside me, and go and enjoy it. So
thank you.
Kieran, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, man.
With the finest moustache you'll ever see, by the way, he's lined up next. See you later,
well, I'm
mate.
very jealous.
Yours is good as well, so is mine. But Tom's is just pure V for Vendetta stuff, man. It's brilliant.
Love it. Can't wait. Sweet.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mr. Winbane,
how's it going? Man? I'm good. How are you?
Tash.
I've curled it just for you.
Yeah, I saw you sat there because the thing is, I can see you in the green room. I saw you sat there playing with it. I was like,
I do it involuntarily. It shouldn't be this long. My girlfriend's been complaining for ages about me not shaving it.
Well, what does she know? She's wrong.
She doesn't have a beard.
Exactly. Yeah, she doesn't. Yeah. She's just jealous because she can't grow a beard. Yeah, Mrs. Winbane. Mate, Tom, good to meet you, man. Whereabouts
good to
meet
you. I'm in sunny Coventry, unfortunately.
Sunny Coventry. Is it actually sunny in Coventry right now? Not right now, obviously. I mean, like broadly speaking, because it's been sunny in Manchester.
Yeah, it had a mixture of snow and sun. It reminds me of Manchester.
Yeah.
on a regular day as well.
Yeah. Well, at least Coventry's blue as well. At least, literally, because obviously Coventry City and stuff like that. But mate, everyone's loving the Tash, by the way, in the comments. Look at it. Alison is so jealous of this man's Tash. Damn right. Guy Fawkes is in the house, says Blue, and it is a brilliant Tash. I love it. I also think people, you've got a Tash, just roll with it and absolutely own it, man. Absolutely own it. Anyway. Look at Mohammed, talking about football, not your girlfriend. It's been 30 seconds, man. Chill. We've been chatting for an hour. Anyway, Tom, what did you make of the game, man? How are you feeling after the game, and what's your take on it?
I think when you were talking to Kieran before, you said, was it a good game? And I think it wasn't a particularly... There were definitely controversial moments, and there was some good football shown. But as a City fan, it certainly wasn't our best performance. So a good game, maybe. We got the win. I would say any win is sort of a good game, but in terms of performance, it doesn't bode well if you were looking at that and then thinking about the second leg. But equally, I think we've seen that from City a few times this season. So then I'm confident for the second leg on the back of that, if that makes sense.
How confident are you, though? How confident?
I'm confident to predict maybe a win in the second leg, which will take us to the semi-final, hopefully. I don't think we'll draw. I think it'll be either a lose or a draw situation. A lose or a win situation, sorry.
Okay, I think we've got enough, and I think that's probably relatively fair. I mean, is there anything that you think needs to happen to make you feel more confident? Is there any changes you want to see? Did we get anything wrong? Is it still everything we've talked about for the past hour on this? Is it just one of those things where we've still got this mental barrier?
Yeah,
3 questions there for you.
It's one of so the thing I think we need to improve on is, and I think we've been saying this for, I feel like forever, is finishing. Those 3 chances that we had, Foden's chances, which I can forgive Foden, he is only young, but at the same time, we do kind of need to be putting those away, because as soon as it went 1-1, my head dropped. I was like, we've just had 3 very good chances there, and it's gone. If we bury those, the game's done. Even if they score, it's like, oh, it's an away goal, but we're 4-0, we're 4-1 up. It doesn't matter. I think always, and I think we've been saying it for many, many months now, the finishing. And then I think what you've been saying recently as well in the chats that you've been having tonight, the nerves, I don't know where they come from. We're a very good team. I do know where they come from. It's just nerves for the Champions League. But if I just can't help but be confident in the team from what I've seen from the past few months. So I don't understand why the players aren't like that. But
it's weird, isn't it? Because the brain is the most powerful tool. It genuinely can override. That's why football is it's such a fascinating game, because I saw a guy called Stefan on Twitter, who I follow, tweet, if you're still nervous after watching the team win 27 out of 28 games, then you're never not going to be nervous. And it's right, to be honest. I mean, it says it all, that we were all so nervous about the game, despite City having this astonishing record. It's to be honest, it's freakish, this record. It's not even normal. It's the most insane winning run. Well, obviously it's not a run anymore, but winning record that we've got. And we're still nervous, and the players are still clearly nervous. I mean, that point, I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, once we get to the Leeds game, that we're just confident, fine, and normal. That'll be interesting, by the way, won't it? The Leeds game will be really interesting to see.
Yeah, it's weird, because where did the nerves? The thing I was asking was, where did the nerves come from? Is it something ingrained just in City? Is it like you were talking, I think, with someone earlier? Were you saying, do we just need to win it? And do we need to win it to just get rid of these nerves? And then suddenly does that go, or is it then just going to carry on anyway because it's just City? Or is it the group of players themselves? It'd be interesting to see where it would come from. I would like to. The thing I've always thought about is, if we had a big proven Champions League winner in there, so say out of left field totally, we just got Ronaldo. Or, well, Messi.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. Or even Ramos or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, if we stuck them in that City side, do we then just become the absolute tank of the Champions League? Do we then just become impenetrable because now we've got a Champions League winner and the players are now settled? Or is it just now Ramos or Ronaldo are now going to be nervous just because it's ingrained in City?
That's really interesting, man. That's
is it Pep?
Well,
I don't know.
Well, Pep's emotional enough to think to I guess you need someone on the pitch, don't you? You need someone else in the barracks with you, don't you? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you got a point there, man. Genuinely. Someone said that here, AB said in the comments, the nerves come from Pep year after year saying we're not ready. And to be honest, mate, I don't think Pep says that other than as a reaction to what he sees on the pitch. Pep did actually say early on this season that he felt like there was something different this year. I remember him saying that because I remember it was a change of tact where you said he felt confident about this year. But I guess maybe, maybe that's it. But to be honest, City had this problem before that as well. Like, there was definitely an inferiority complex when we played Real Madrid under Pellegrini. I know we were not as good a team then, but we were definitely pathetic in those 2 games. I remember them clear as day, as we all do. And I do think this. Unfortunately, I do feel like your reputation can defeat you always. Doesn't matter who you are. And once again, we haven't got any Champions League winners, and until we've got that, and it might be that we have to scrape it and get really lucky, but I do think it changes just like that as soon as it happens. And it could be that once if we get through Dortmund, we've got past that mid-good team for the first time in a knockout stage. It could be that. It could just change then. It could be that we're up for it.
I really hope that would be the case, but I don't think. I think as soon as I think we'll get past Dortmund, but as soon as we hit that semi-final, the nerves start to. Whoever we get, Porto could win and go through to the semi-final. We could get. Actually, the draw's already done, isn't it? That's me.
It'd be Bayern or PSG, which is
So we'll get either Bayern or PSG, and the nerves are just going to bang straight in again. I can guarantee that. I can't guarantee it because I'm not playing, but I can predict it with a high level of certainty that the nerves will settle in. Then I don't think getting past Dortmund is the thing. I think the reputation thing certainly is probably what it is. It's just because it's City. We're playing for City, who have never won a Champions League. I don't have any personal experience. Yeah.
To be fair, it's not even pressure on the individuals; it's pressure on the whole club as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
There is everything Manchester City ever do at the moment, whether it's fair or not, and we shouldn't really care as City fans, but it is viewed through the prism of you're a failure until you win the Champions League, and that is quite literally what's thrown at Manchester City every single day, and it's what fans of every club and every pundit will ever see is like Pep's a failure unless he wins. These players are a failure unless they win the Champions League, and obviously that's nonsense because it's just we know how difficult it is genuinely. But that's going to be there, and how can that not crush a club? How can that not be a massive weight on your shoulders? And I think we just it will happen. We will win the Champions League one day. It's going to happen. Like, our owners aren't going anywhere. They've invested in 10 clubs. Well, it has to, because we've got the money and our owners are making the City Football Group, so we know they're not going anywhere. It's a big project. But I guess it's one of those things where we just have to. I guess when it eventually happens, I do think all of a sudden everything will change. It will just change like that. But could it be this year? Could it be this year, Tom?
I would like to think so. Yeah, and I agree with that. I'm not going to say yes. You're not going to get me to say yes.
Don't worry.
I'm not going to. Yeah. I would like to think that as soon as we do win that, then we start to go on and win more. That would be the dream. That would be. I mean, even. Dare I say 3 in a row like Madrid, but I don't think that'll happen.
But I think you're right. I think as soon as that starts off our shoulders, all of a sudden, I think everyone's scared of us then. Everyone. Because like, shit,
absolutely.
City they've got nothing over us then, genuinely. They know we were a better team. They know we haven't got this crippling self-doubt. They know we haven't got that anymore. And I do think that's a moment that the rest of Europe should be very scared for, because I know City have spent an awful lot of money and we're very lucky, but there's nothing's going to stop these owners from doing this. And like, as soon as City get past that mental block, the rest of Europe should be very scared. And that's not a threat, it's just true, because this is such a serious organisation, isn't it, that things change. But for now, in the short term, man, that was decent in the end, I guess, tonight. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Was it enough tonight?
Yeah, I think it was enough. Like I said at the start, it wasn't amazing. It was okay. It got us through, and I think knockout football, that's all you need, really.
Definitely, man. That's all you need. Definitely.
With the 2 legs, it makes it a bit more difficult, but in the end, knockout football, good enough, and you'll get through. Case study: France World Cup.
Exactly. That's a good shout, man. Tom, mate, I've been talking live since 7 o'clock, so I'm absolutely
get to bed.
So I'm going to get to bed, man. Nick is already in bed. But the thing is with doing this is that I can't sleep now. I'm far too wired. So I'll be up for another hour now, just trying to calm down. But Tom, thank you so much for going on, man.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
And you're going to be in the outro here for now because I can't be asked to get ready here. But thank you to Sean and Kieran and Scott. and James and Ian and Saffy and who else have I missed? A couple more people have definitely been on as well. Thank you to every single one of you who come on. It's been absolutely awesome. Loads of vaccine chat, weirdly, loads of football chat, loads of Manchester City chat, and all that kind of stuff. It's been great having you all on. Thank you so much for watching this, and don't forget after this as well. We'll basically now go and click open the tab and go over and watch my match reaction where you get all my thoughts on the game as well after all these beautiful faces have offered their thoughts as well. And Kieran, I think I said Kieran. Did I say Kieran? Either way, I've said it right now. But now though, guys, have a wonderful evening. Big love to every single one of you. Like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and see you later. City of One. See you later, Tom.
I've been told in the
guys.
private chat I have to awkwardly wave.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do, man.
Bye.
I'm just holding it to see what happens. I was just trying to make you awkward then. Right. That's Sean and Kieran mugging you off there, man. You know what? I'll get everyone for a group wave. There we go. Group wave, everyone.
You're not laughing now, are you?
All right. See you later, guys. In a bit. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 I'm not even going to get it. It works.
Please.
Right, actually, go now. See you in a bit. Good night, guys. Bye-bye.